waiting for. Please welcome the Pelbros podcast.
Yo, what up? It's the Pelbros here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 20
Oh
of the
shit!
podcast.
Oh shit!
It's been a crazy couple of months and we finally hit, another milestone.
Yo!
20 episodes, something to be pretty proud of. Myself here, James as always, and my co-host with me.
Ryan DW, baby, you know how it be.
Yeah,
Shit.
bringing in another episode. We're coming back.
Not
hot
just
with
another episode
the
too. Number
content.
20. Hot with content. Yeah.
Yeah, Ep 20. We're rolling with the content at the moment, bringing you the news from the league at the moment. We're about a month away from the start to the 2021 season, which is actually kind of crazy. Feels like time's flown.
Yeah, true. Has just been a second.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to our previous episode, episode 19, shout out, definitely check that out because this is sort of a continuation from that. We're going to tie up a few loose ends regarding the Pelicans, a few more roster moves since the past week, which has been crazy. There a few new signings, a few new send-offs that we need to do, and then we're going to go into the rest of the moves across the league. There's been some. It hasn't been that crazy of a free agency in terms of the talent, but there's still some big moves that will kind of change the course of how the playoffs and how the season looks next year.
Yeah, the entire landscape of it all, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we just kick it off? Tying up the rest of the loose ends for the Pelicans. Ryan, you had a few. Let's just get into it.
Yo, man, let a man break the ice a bit, bro. I don't want to get into that just yet, bro. It's episode 20. Can a man celebrate a bit first? If that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. I just want to say, James, bro, it's 2020, right? And it's episode 20, and I'm just trying to say, bro, we started this shit early this year, right? And I'm just trying to say, bro, we've got haters, bro. We got haters from day one. They're like, yo, they ain't gonna make that shit. They ain't gonna make it, bro. They ain't even gonna go past episode 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I think someone in particular sent me a little kind of link or something of that. Most podcasts die after 7 episodes, was it, James?
Yeah, I won't snitch, but
yeah,
I'll tase if you're out there.
Yeah. And obviously he ain't listening too. He ain't gonna be listening, so don't be worrying about that, bro. You don't have to even put it in code name or whatever, because he ain't gonna be listening, bro. Because I'm just trying to say, he already given up. You know what I mean? Not only him, but all these other players, all these other people at the beginning. Yeah, bro. They smile to you, your face and everything like that. But deep down inside, they don't want to see you succeed, bro. Because they gotta feel bad about themselves and why they ain't doing shit with their lives, right? But here we are, bro, dishing out the best Pelicans content on YouTube to our 54 subscribers or so, right?
Wait, don't reveal. Don't reveal that, bro.
And 300 or so followers on Instagram, right? So yeah, I am somebody, all right? Yeah, I do got a little clout, all right? Yeah, I did make 20 motherfucking episodes of the Pelbros. Yeah, what you gonna do about it, son? Yeah. I'm gonna be calling up some hookers and some cocaine for me and my boy James. We're gonna be celebrating tonight, because you know how it be. It's episode 20. What can I say?
Yeah, how's it feel? To get it off your chest.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm happy. But a little context. Today has just been a crazy freaking hot day today here in Sydney. So me and James both are just fucking fucked. It's 11:30 p.m. But that's the thing. It's all about the grind, son. It's all about the grind. You know what I mean? And that's what these people don't. They come on for 1 or 2 episodes. It's oh, bro, we're only getting 4 likes. We ain't even getting any listeners. They give up straight away. But that's the thing. We haven't even started. You know what I mean? We haven't even fucking started. So if you guys have been tuning in or have just tuned in, sub or whatever kind of shit like that, yo. Appreciate y'all, but that's what I'm trying to say. You guys haven't, you guys aren't even ready for this shit. You know what I mean? Because we ourselves aren't ready for this shit. You know what I mean? Like me and James. Isn't that right, James? I'm not hyping this up too much, am I?
Nah, pretty accurate. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, because with that, I just want to say we. Not only has there been now I'm gonna tie it back in. So not only has there been big changes around the league and big changes within the entire Pelicans roster, Pelicans front office, etc. There's also going to be even bigger changes for the Pelbros. I'm just trying to say. So it's all about the change, baby. It's all about that, making that money, make it, getting ahead in life, improving ourselves. That's what it's all about in the Pelbros. But yeah, anyways, before I properly get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at Pelbros. Hit us up, pelbros.com. And if you want to contact us, pelbrospodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. And yeah, obviously hit us up on YouTube if you haven't yet, because we're blown up on YouTube, dude. Like, we just posted like a video randomly and then bang, shit. We just like pretty much like tripled our freaking sub base, didn't we? Like over the last week, James.
Yeah, getting a lot of love for some recent content we put on YouTube, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, so shout out to you guys.
Lots of engagement there as well.
Yes, but sorry. Okay, what was the question again, James?
You had a couple of loose ends to tie up from, from last week's episode.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, last week's episode, we did kind of give, I guess, a bit of like we did give like, I mean, kind of like in advance, in case, kind of like send-offs, right? And yeah, it actually ended up being official send-offs to Kenny Hustle, Frank Jackson. I think Darius Miller was already gone by then, right?
Yeah, he was part of that trade that we talked about last week. And
but then on top of that, like, who we didn't mention was like our bench unit, which is Josh Gray and the Zylan Cheatham guy, right? So all those cats pretty much gone, unless I'm missing someone else here.
Etwan as well, yeah.
How could I fucking forget? Etwan Moore, obviously, too. Yeah, wait. So Etwan Moore's in Phoenix Suns now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So that's good for him, bro. Like, I appreciate the fact that he's not just been sent over to OKC to tank, but he's actually been sent to, a place where he can actually have a decent role in the contending team. Because, yeah, Phoenix Suns, Chris CB3, fucking Thingo, Devin Booker too. That shit's gonna be crazy. But yeah, those are, I guess, the main kind of changes in terms of like everyone that has departed. And yeah, I guess to kind of answer your kind of situation, James, is that from last episode to this episode, so within the week, it has been made official that pretty much everyone I listed, apart from Etwan Moore, has been shipped off to OKC. And yeah, I mean, I've already kind of given a bit of like the farewell tribute kind of stuff earlier on, but like last episode, but we will obviously have a few more words to say. I think if anything, we should be talking about Frank Jackson, because I'm not too sure we had a little bit of shout out for Frank Jackson. So I'm gonna pass it back over to you, James. What are your thoughts on this entire kind of situation, but more so specifically Frank Jackson and then everyone else?
Yeah, so we talked about it last week really briefly about how all of them were unsigned, and it didn't look like we were gonna re-sign them. I think for Frank, we said that there's a chance that he could, because at the time we didn't have a backup to the backup point guard. But obviously made official that he is signed with OKC. Like all the other guys, it's the OKC Pelicans retirement village. Not even retirement village, actually, because these guys are all young. So I don't want to say rejects, but the
reject shop.
OKC Pelicans, third string players.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, they all secured the bag. A bunch of them, especially the guys signing, new contracts.
Yeah.
So huge props to them. Some of the guys were traded away. So that's good that, the Pelicans managed to find them an actual home. Otherwise, they would have been kind of in limbo. So as long as, there's a place where they have a contract where they're going to get minutes, that's props to them. I don't know whether Frank will get minutes. I think he will, just because OKC are kind of rebuilding, potentially, borderline tanking. They'll be drafting for the next, 10 years. But, yeah, hopefully Frank Jackson gets some well-deserved minutes over there, and can show and prove to him, to the league, that he deserves some minutes and deserves to be an NBA player. I'll quickly go over the other guys. Kenrich, again, similar. I hope he sees some minutes. Zylan Cheatham, I really hope to see more of him. I really liked him during the preseason games.
Yeah,
we just haven't seen a lot of him at all.
He had great energy.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him at all on like an actual real game level. So whether he matches up to NBA talent, and then Josh Gray, man, I don't even know if I've seen him on the court. So props to him. Hopefully he gets some more minutes and manage to secure the contract. But yeah, I'll go back to Etwan Moore just because that's the big one for me.
Yeah, true.
Probably one of my favorite Pelicans players as well. Maybe like second or third, I'd say. He's just always been kind of that guy that's ready to get a bucket. He's always ready when he's caught up off the bench. Never complains, never has dramas.
He's a professional.
That's exactly what it is. We just gave him a bit of a shout out on Instagram, so you go check that out. But just want to see him get some minutes. I think he signed on for like $2 million or something, so it's like a minimum. Whether he's just the backup to the backup. So obviously you got D booked there, but hopefully just get some minutes when either it's garbage time or whether if any injuries come up. I just want to see him thrive and succeed. He's getting up there in age. I think he's 31 or 32 or something. But yeah, I just want to see him get some well-deserved minutes and kind of prove to the league that he can still score some buckets. But that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. Ryan, I'll kick it back over to you. What are your thoughts on these guys and sending him off?
Yeah, I mean, with each one more, like, that's the thing. I guess we'll get more into detail when we talk about everything around the league. But yeah, with each one more, just the only kind of thing I'd add to what you're saying is that, yeah, obviously a huge OG. And the main kind of thing is that, yeah, I would love to see him. I mean, yeah, I'm not too sure in terms of like his position in the Phoenix Suns roster, in terms of like if he's going to get as many minutes as he would in the Pelicans roster and shit. But my only kind of thing I wish to see is that when he's called upon, that he, lives up to the moment, or does what he's getting paid to do. So, all the biggest respect to Eton Moore, and with overall with everything, because of Frank Jackson, especially Eton Moore and all these kind of guys going away, and Kenny Hustle too, like that being confirmed now. It is actually 100% now that Zion Williamson is actually our fucking locker room veteran right now. Like, he is the longest tenured, or however the fuck you say that word, player in the current Pelicans roster. So that's pretty crazy. The only kind of last thing I wanted to chuck in there though is talking about like the bench unit guys. So Josh Gray and Zylan, right? So basically these guys, yeah, I mean, it's great news that they shift off to OKC. That it's more so that they could actually secure a contract. It could have so easily been that, okay, you're just sticking permanently in the G League, or G League now it's called, and there's that, or you just lose your contract too completely, and now you got to go maybe overseas, try your luck over there, But instead, these guys have actually been able to secure a contract with OKC. Josh Gray, and I think maybe Zylan too. Oh, so Josh Gray is getting around paid around 1.6 to 1.7 million. And Zylan is getting paid around 1.4. So that's not like joke money. You know what I mean? Obviously, in this big league where there's huge contracts going up to 40, 50. We just had the entire BI contract happening, right? It doesn't seem like such big money, but for these guys, right? They've been you'll be thinking about it. These guys are trying to get into the NBA the hard way, right? So they're hustling, making probably I don't even know if they're making six figures in the G League or whatever, right? But probably are, to be honest. But finally now they're getting that payday, over 1 million. So the fact that they were part of us, the Pelicans, and they may not have actually played minutes on the floor, but think about how many hours, how many days they had given to us off the floor. You know what I mean? Where pretty much I'd say majority of the shit is happening, right? To build up our actual team and stuff like that. So with that, because of that, we got to respect these guys, and we got to congratulate them also for their payday. Alongside, obviously, I think the big update from last week to this week is BI himself getting the max contract too. So I guess a little round of applause for everyone getting paid, and everyone securing future for themselves and their family, right? I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, that's my clap. So I guess that's my mature 2 cents on it all.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely lots of securing of the bag, getting paid. I hope these guys probably just went out and spent it on. BI just probably bought fucking 10 properties and invested in all this shit.
Oh,
got more tats and stuff.
You saying like that?
Probably spent it on strip clubs.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I would. If anything, I thought BI was one of the Pelbros, and that's what I'm trying to say. Episode 20, after this recording, what you think the Pelbros are going to be doing? We ain't going to be investing properties. Nah, son, we're doing what BI is going to be doing with that freaking money. We're going to do.
No, man, I'm investing in it, bro. Give me a stack of cash. I'm investing it.
Yeah, quote unquote investing it. Yeah, on these hoes.
But apart from the guys obviously leaving, we do have a couple of guys we need to introduce and look forward to.
This is exciting. Yeah,
welcoming to the team. This is very exciting. We have 2 new players. One of them, we have 3 new players actually. We have Willie. I don't even know how to say his last name. Hernan Gomez.
Oh, he's right, that one. Yeah.
He's probably the backup center, or the third backup center. Sorry. So I don't know much about him. People said that his brother / or cousin or whatever is better, who's also in the league. But yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah.
We have Wenyan Gabriel coming through as a backup power forward. So you said that you saw a bit of him playing for Portland. And you said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I reckon he's pretty good in Portland. The thing is, everyone, it's not nothing being racist here or anything like that, but it's a reference to like the Dave Chappelle joke, in which they're talking about Rick. I hate how comedy is like this now. Like, I have to fucking full explain everything to make sure I'm not getting cancelled or anything. But basically, the best way for everyone to remember who Wenyan Gabriel is, he's the darkness. You know what I mean? He's like the blackest cat on the team right now. But yeah, continue.
Charlie Murphy, baby. Rest
Yeah,
in
yeah,
peace.
Charlie, exactly. Oh yeah, but I was gonna say, like, from what I had seen, like, he's like a young cat, and he seems as if he's probably gonna be. He's got like the core of what Kenny Hustle is. So like, we've got rid of Kenny Hustle, but we've got the core of a Kenny Hustle. But with that, because he's so like young, we can build him up to something even better. You know what I mean? His potential is much more greater than that. So I think he's a very interesting piece in terms of like, and that's the thing. Portland has even Portland. Like, I've seen people being like, "Oh, yo, love from Portland. This guy's a really good asset. I wish we had kept him." Da da da. So, I can't complain. I'm quite interested to see where he ends up going with us.
Yeah, really excited to see him. Now that you've kind of hyped him up,
Yeah.
Whether he'll get minutes ahead of Nico Melli, obviously with Zion there, who knows? But yeah, hopefully we'll see him even if it's in garbage time minutes or preseason games. And then lastly, I don't know how official this is. I think the deal is potentially still being worked on. But we kind of just spoke about how last week we had Steven Adams as the closest thing to being an Aussie.
Yeah, mate.
And then the Pelicans go and read our minds and decide to. It appears that they're about to sign a deal with an Aussie from the NBL, Will Magnay. So hopefully I said your name right.
Yeah.
But massive welcome to the team as a fellow Aussie. We have to back him. He looks like a pretty good young prospect coming through. He plays center. He's only 22, and he actually won the Most Improved Player award in the NBL. So pairing him, with another Most Improved Player in BI. Who knows? It looks like we're building towards some pretty positive things. We haven't personally seen him play in the NBL, even though we're Aussie, but really excited to see what comes of it. This could be, again, I don't think he's going to get minutes. He's the backup to the backup to the backup to the backup, I guess.
Yeah.
But massive props to him, respect, and he's probably going to start securing the bag himself, considering the NBL doesn't pay that much. Any final thoughts on this, Ryan?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, because it's actually crazy because of the fact, how we were just saying with the entire Steven Adams thing. Oh, he's the closest thing to an Aussie. We should be happy with that. But now we actually do have an Aussie on the roster. Like, I would have not thought I'd live to see the day, for fuck's sake, But he's no what do you call it? Like Andrew Bogut. He's no Joe Ingles. In terms of like, quote unquote star power in the NBA. But he's an Aussie. He's an Aussie, and he's on the team. I guess the most interesting thing is obviously he's the reigning most improved player of the NBL, the Australian League. So and let's not talk shit about the Aussie League, to be honest, because we look at LaMelo Ball. If anything, the NBL is only becoming more and more of a recognized, I guess, pathway for people to potentially get drafted into the NBA later on in the future. So I'm just saying, like, it's becoming more of a respected league. So we should not just take his most improved player kind of situation with like we shouldn't completely disregard it. I'm just trying to say is that, like, don't sleep on this cat. Like, I would like to see some minutes, potentially. But probably I'd like to see him in the summer league at least, But I'm very, very excited about that. Obviously, Aussie, also born in Brisbane. Seems mad. Like, what can I say? Hopefully he doesn't get injured.
Yeah, for sure. It does sound like quite a lot of talent is being scouted out in Australia.
Yeah.
So slowly, very, very slowly, we're catching up in terms of some talent. And hopefully we just see a lot more players, get the opportunity. So, welcome, Will, once again, and hope to see some big things out of you.
Yeah, boy.
That's pretty much it. I mean, the only other thing that we probably didn't touch on was we re-signed Sindarius Thornwell.
Yeah.
And again, he's just going to be, that kind of, hardworking at training and kind of just play that experienced kind of role, and be a super backup if we need it. But apart from that, I think that covers all things Pelicans.
Yo, hold up. I want to talking about this guy, because I brought it up with you, but I hadn't brought it up with you whilst we're recording. So it has come to my attention, dear viewers, dear listeners, whatever, is that Sindarius, whatever, he has a conflict of interest with the big boy, the Aquaman himself, Steven Adams. You know what I mean? So Sindarius has technically been on our team since like last year, right? And he was wearing number 12. Steven Adams, his entire OKC career, been wearing number 12, and now he's coming to us. So what's going on there? I think James had a suggestion on how we should handle this, right?
Yeah, fight to death. but that'll probably be too lopsided. So if I had to say it,
I don't know, bro.
1-on-1, first to 21, mate, blacktop style.
Yeah, true. No, but still, who do you think? You reckon they'll just give it to Steven Adams because it's just like, okay, we don't want any drama, just give him the fucking 12, or what do you think? Or do you think Steven Adams is gonna be like, nah, man, I want to change my, bro, I'm beach this fashion chops. I wanna change, bro, from 12. Some shit.
That's actually a pretty good accent. I reckon Steven, he'll do his Kiwi thing and be like, yeah, I'll give up the number. It's no dramas, mate.
Interesting.
He'll do something like that. Yeah, I don't think there's too much conflict there, and I imagine Adams would be pretty happy to give it up, knowing how friendly and how nice he is. But yeah, it would be interesting to see them fight it out, see who figures it out.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to say, bro, Pelbros are more than happy. If that does happen, Pelbros are more than happy to actually take bets. I'm just trying to say, minimum $10 USD. Gamble responsibly. No. The only
conditions apply.
Yeah. The only thing about your family and your loved ones. Okay, but what's it called? The only other kind of thing I want to like the very last cherry on top, I guess, is because before we were just being like, oh, we're probably gonna flip George Hill and Eric Bledsoe. Obviously, we didn't flip George Hill, but Eric Bledsoe, it seems like we're probably gonna keep him, and I don't think we gave him enough like credit for like the player he is, and in terms of like the player he is in terms of the void he's filling, in which Drew Holiday, right? Obviously, the big kind of thing with Eric Bledsoe is that. So although obviously Drew Holiday is known as probably the best two-way, I guess, guard at least in the league, right? In terms of his defense and his offense, but more so his defense, right? But the thing is that obviously the official NBA kind of whatever, like board or how do I say it? Like the mainstream NBA audience or the media, etc. So the people that actually vote for all NBA. Keep on sleeping on Drew, or not sleep on Drew. I guess they're just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like dogging Drew.
No, I think sleeping on and just like
because I think
underrating him and stuff.
I wouldn't say sleeping because I know they all know. You know what I mean? I think it's just more so they're like backstabbing him, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, yo, screw this guy. I don't know. I don't know what's the. It's such a simple word, but I can't think of it right now. But anyways, the term is like trying to like. Screw him over, right? Anyways, though, regards to that, Eric Bledsoe has been on all NBA like defensive team. I think for the past 2 years. I think just like this last season, he was on the second All NBA. Was that true? And then
that sounds about right. I think he was on the second team with Pat Bev this year.
Yeah, and then the season beforehand, I think he was on All NBA first team though for defense. Let me just double check this, but yeah. Going off of that, like as I try to look this up, going off of that, James, I want to ask you. So, like I feel as if beforehand, when obviously we were much more emotionally attached to the entire situation, almost you could say a bit of PTSD, denial, etc., after Drew getting traded. But obviously now we've come to accept it. It's happened. It's whatever. Blah, blah. So. I'm trying to say, like, before we were very, very close-minded with Eric Bledsoe, but now it's just like I'm kind of like more open to the idea. Like, okay, yeah, true. If he's like, sure, like we have to live with the fact that we don't have Drew. This guy may be the second best kind of thing we could do with it, if that makes sense. What do you reckon about that, James?
Yeah, I mean, it still hurts to see Drew go. It will never not hurt. But I mean, if we're gonna keep him, and I think they already announced that we are, at least for this season, we'll just have to come and accept it and kind of try and root for him, try and support him. I think he'll still be solid defensively. He'll kind of, I think we did mention he'll be close to matching Drew. The league might disagree with me there and think that Bledsoe's could be better on defense even potentially, but it'll be interesting to see how he performs on defense on a poor defensive team. Since the Bucks were actually one of the best defensive teams in the league, it actually makes sense that their players would be voted quite highly for those kind of awards, because the media factors in team defense quite a bit. That's why you have guys like Kawhi, Giannis, AD, Pat Bev, teams that have some of the best defense in the league. Their players are going to get voted in. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Bledsoe can do the same with the Pelicans. I imagine what's going to happen is Pelicans defense is still going to be pretty shocking, and that may just hurt his chances or his viability for a lot of these awards. Ironically, it'll be funny if the Bucks play next year and then suddenly Drew gets first NBA defense, and that would just prove that would just prove how much team defense and the stats matter to the media. They'll look at whether the Bucks have been the best at PPG, like opponent PPG and opponent field goal, and if they are, then Drew will get his votes. So yeah, we'll see how he is in a bigger potentially bigger market now that they have a superstar. But yeah, I'm a bit more open-minded to Bledsoe. I just want to see how he plays and see how he fits.
Yeah, true.
And just I will give him benefit of the doubt and give him let's say one season or maybe even half a season. if we're like 5-30, then yeah, we'll just write that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that. Yeah, I was correct. That so this previous season he was NBA All Defensive second team, and then the season before that he was NBA All Defensive first team. And yeah, I guess all I can say is that yeah, man, like it's kind of like I guess we've kind of been forced into this like positive thinking, because it's like we just got to make do with what we've been given, right? And yeah, bro, like he ain't no Drew Holiday, but he's still alright, you know what I mean? You say we might not be that great defensive, but that's the thing. We don't have Gentry anymore, bro. I think we might be alright. You know what I mean? Like, I feel as if we may be a bit more of like a well-rounded kind of team in terms of, especially if this guy is like, has this defensive kind of, what do you call it? Like leadership within him, right? And then I'm hearing all these kind of things about Steven Adams himself being quite good defensively, etc., etc. There's that, and then Lonzo had actually shown signs of being decent defensively too. If everyone and Bi himself too had also said that he really wants to work on his defense, because he doesn't want to let the team down, right? Like last season, I remember him saying that, right? So. Yeah, if we actually do set like a proper, I guess, like culture around defense, I could see us being a pretty decent like defensive team, or like not necessarily just defensive team, but a decent all-rounder team. I don't necessarily think that going forward into next season, although we lost Drew, I feel as if our overall team defense will get better though, like if that makes sense, just because we got a different coach.
Yeah, it makes sense. Definitely got to factor in Stan being there.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's good to be optimistic. Let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
That's all we can really say about that.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of wraps everything up with the Pelicans situation, but I know it's quite early, right? But just right now, I want to ask you, do you reckon we're going to make it into the playoffs this season? Also take into consideration that they are going to be doing like, I think, the play-in tournaments for 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed.
I'll just say that I think the play-in tournament's fucking stupid.
Ooh.
But that's like a whole nother episode.
Too. Yeah, true.
It just to me it just doesn't make sense. I think it's stupid. But I actually think those play-in tournaments will give us a chance. I feel like we're a play-in tournament team. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of fans would disagree with me, and a lot of people are a lot more optimistic than I am. But
saying that we're going to secure like a top fucking 5 seed or something.
No, they're like, this is a playoff team for sure. You know, like
like 100%, no joke.
they're like, this is a playoff roster and shit. I just
Okay.
feel like other teams in the league also got better.
Yeah, way better.
So the Suns, I think, are actually a legitimate threat.
Rockets,
CP3,
Rockets don't seem to be blowing up too. But continue.
yeah, with CP3, you know, you can't not think that they're going to be a solid team. And they just look like they're on the path. You know, D Book went crazy in the bubble. I know the bubble's not an accurate representation, but they can build off that and they can do really well. And then I think Portland is actually another threat. And they actually, I feel like they got better over the offseason. They got
heaps better, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, they re-signed all their guys. The guys are coming healthy. They added in a few players. I've got to double check who they added.
Rob Kov, I remember.
Yeah, I think that's a massive... I mean, I might be overrating him, but I think he just adds exactly what they need. A bit more defense on the wings.
It's a good fit, yeah.
A good fit, exactly. Yeah, I just feel like they got better. So those are the two teams which I think are kind of posing the immediate threat. You know, obviously the Suns didn't make it last year, but I just think they're in a good spot. And then you got other teams that are potentially threats. You know, Sacramento. You can't ever discount the Spurs. Yeah, but it's just so competitive.
They're probably not coming. They're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just so competitive in the West. That's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, how about yourself? What do you think?
Right. I was going to say, like going off of all the different other kind of teams, right? I was hoping that, bro, like Rockets going to blow it up. This is kind of also somewhat Pelbros related too. But then obviously they signed Boogie, right? So, you know, if you guys been following me, if you guys like on Instagram or on freaking YouTube or anything like that, even if you listen for just for like a minute, you'll know that I'm the biggest like dick rider of Boogie of all time, you know, like, but Boogie, you know, Pelicans Boogie was just like the ultimate experience, you know what I mean? It's the best shit. I didn't give a shit about AD, like Nola AD as opposed to, Boogie, sorry, I can't even talk now. I'm so flustered talking about Boogie. I love him, man. Like, I just want him to notice me. No. But basically, I'm just trying to say is that Nola Boogie was the real deal, right? And he's so much of the real deal. You know, obviously I've got his jerseys, but he was so much of the real deal that, and I did touch on this on our Instagram, so make sure you guys are following that if you haven't already at Pelbros. But with that, he's so much of the real deal that during a game where we had already kind of secured it, right, against the Rockets, off a missed free throw, he decided to fucking go for the hustle, go for the ball. I remember watching it, bro. It was after Australia Day. Fuck, all right, I don't want to get too much into it, but I was devastated. Yeah, and then he, you know, it was such a good game too. Boogie was having a freaking hectic game. He goes for the rebound, and then during that rebound is where it all started going downhill for him. And that game was obviously versus the Rockets, the CP3 and James Harden Rockets, right? And then after that, obviously Golden State Warriors. Yeah, it's all right, but you know, we already know how that ended up happening versus Toronto. There's that, and then unfortunately, we didn't get to see him reunite with Rondo and AD on the Lakers because he got injured during the preseason. And now so all I can say is that, like, before we were congratulating, Josh Gray, all that cunts, and on top of that, BI on their contracts. But I think we need another round of applause for Boogie, you know, because I'm struggling with these claps here. Yeah, but basically, yeah, man, like, I'm happy because Boogie's kind of position is very, very, like, unstable, insecure right now, you know what I mean? Especially because of the fact, you know, this is the second time he's got an injury, and like, he's lucky to get a fucking contract anywhere. And so I'm happy that he got a contract in a pretty fucking decent team too. Houston Rockets ain't no fucking joke, bro. And Houston Rockets have always just, because they're in the same Southwest division as us, they're always fucking us, bro. So that's the thing. And now they've got the Boogie now they've got Boogie. So now I don't know if they're gonna blow it up, if in terms of, like, if they're gonna, like, they might run it back, James Harden and not CP3, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and then they've also got Christian Wood, a previous Pelicans player too. But the whole point of all this, is what I'm trying to say, is that basically because of that, I still think Rockets are a threat. Like, Rockets are still, because the Rockets are always going to be a good what's it called, regular season fucking like team, right? Not necessarily in the playoffs, but regular season team they're definitely going to, and because of that, they're going to secure a playoff spot. And the whole reason I bring all this up is because of that. If the Rockets had blown it up, then there's an extra spot where we could fucking jump in and take it, right? But because of that, there isn't. But on the flip side, the good thing quote unquote good thing for us is Klay Thompson got injured, right? So maybe, but the thing is that Golden State Warriors did make some moves. They got Kelly Oubre now. They've obviously drafted that. I think Anthony Edwards. They've made their moves, right? But I don't know if they're gonna be. I mean, they could still make it to the playoffs. They could still probably be a better fucking team than us, to be honest. Because let's not forget, they still got Steph Curry. Potentially, if not the greatest fucking 3-point shooter of all time. So that kind of could carry. But that's the thing. Like, there's not many like paths to victory. You know what I mean? Like to get into the playoffs for us. So I definitely do agree with you in terms of like we are a play-in team. Yeah. So I guess that's my thoughts in terms of the Western Conference, because the Western Conference, the Wild Wild West is just fucking fucked, right? It's a hard living, bro. But that's the game. So I agree we're a play-in team, but with all this said, James, now we can both make a decision. Do we make the playoffs this season, though?
Man, depends. If you need my, I mean, if I want to be optimistic, then I'll say like, yeah, we'll go through the play-in tournament and we'll somehow scrape into the 8th seed. But if you're asking me for my actual thoughts, I actually think we could potentially miss it this year. Just because we have a completely new team, that the whole chemistry has to kind of be a factor, and they have to figure out how to play with each other. We only had one disrupted season with the roster last year, obviously with D-Faves and stuff and Zion. Let alone this year again. Now we have another fresh start. We need to rebuild chemistry, all that jazz. So yeah, put a gun to my head and make me pick an answer, I'd probably say that we're not going to make it.
We all gonna make it, bro. No. All right. That's fair enough. But I guess I'm a bit more optimistic. I reckon, like, why the fuck not? Let's make it. Yeah. Like, I say, because I don't think. Okay. Out of people that won't make it, OKC ain't gonna make it. Memphis Grizzlies probably ain't gonna make it. Because if we ain't gonna make it, Memphis Grizzlies ain't gonna make it. But if we make it, Memphis Grizzlies ain't gonna make it either. So either way, Memphis Grizzlies ain't making it. Timberwolves, like, sure, you got D'Lo now, you've drafted some guy, but Cat's soft, baby. Cat's a bitch. I was trying to say, and we've got like two of the hardest freaking like front court right now, Steven Adams and Zion. Sacramento Kings, I don't see them making it. That's the thing. I feel as if we can squeeze in there, especially if we're gonna do like a play-in tournament versus like Utah or something like that. That could be very interesting. I feel as if we can sneak in there via the way of play-in tournament, 100%. I don't know necessarily AFC. Who knows? We could maybe be comfortable like 6 to 7, to be honest. My kind of thing is that like I understand your kind of reasonings in terms of like, yeah, I need some time to get the chemistry, etc., etc. But that's it. We haven't had Zion for a whole fucking season. Now we do. He's been looking, from like the rumors or whatever pictures that have been shown, he's been looking like he's lost weight, he's looking healthy, etc., which is fucking good, obviously. And then obviously we got Steven Adams. I feel as if we are almost because we've been burnt too many times, me and you, and we've got BI, right? And we've got hopefully Lonzo wants to make the case for potentially becoming the new MIP this season. Hopefully he decides he wants to. If he doesn't, I mean, it's the same old Lonzo then. but what I'm trying to say though is that if he does, you know what I mean, this could be a huge game changer. And now we've got, JJ still shooting from 3. But what I'm trying to say though is with all this, right, I feel as if because me and you have been burned so many times as Pelicans fans, even just last season, especially in the bubble, what the fuck was that, right? I get your grievances, right? I understand your grievances, but what I'm trying to say is that because we've been burned so many times, we are almost too afraid to be optimistic. We're almost sleeping on our own team, on our own boys, you know what I mean, on our own potential. But I feel as if we should discuss this specific question later on as the season begins too. But I will have to say, like, yeah, I'm more so positive. I'd say I'd give us like a 55 to 60% chance we'll get in the playoffs. That's me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's still pretty conservative. But like you said, we've been burnt so many times. But yeah, in the end, we could discuss about this for ages. Let's just see how the season plays out. I think most people are more optimistic than I am, and that's fine. Bring on the haters, but that's just me being realistic. I'm seeing quite a lot of competitive moves, and I completely forgot about the Warriors actually. And I still think that a Steph Curry team, if you've watched the Pelicans, you know Steph Curry burns us every single fucking game, especially in the playoffs as well. Yeah, he's just we can never stop him. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But let's just move on to some moves around the league. We've been going for a while now. Let's spend like the next 10 minutes just recapping a few of the bigger moves from around the league.
Yeah, boy. What you got?
Yeah, so speaking of, I guess let's just go through the winners and the winners and some of the losers of this free agency. I'm looking at the West here, and I think from my end, I see the Lakers actually as winners.
Oh, huge winners, yeah.
Of the offseason. Being able to sign or get trade for Dennis Schroeder as the Rondo replacement, I think is massive. He was actually contending for sixth man of the league.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Trez won it. Ironically, Trez is now going to the Lakers as well, which I don't think is that massive of a move. I think he'll be really good for them in the regular season, but playoffs will expose his weaknesses. But man, that Schroeder signing is huge. I think he provides them, as a perfect kind of player to be a backup point guard. And then I think they also have finalized the deal with Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol, yeah, that's a big
which
move.
I think is actually massive because he will fill the void of center on defense, and kind of help AD, because AD doesn't traditionally like to play center. But when there's games where you're going up against bigger big men, Marc Gasol will fill that. So guys like Joel Embiid and stuff like that. Huge win for the Lakers. Ryan, any thoughts here, or should I go to the next one?
The only kind of thing I add here is that, because a lot of people do hype up this entire Trez kind of thing, like, look at them, they've like fucked over the Clippers and shit. But honestly, like, to add on to your point is that, yeah, man, I think if anything, it's a much better fit. Like, I don't think Trez was a good fit for what the Clippers needed, and they've got a better fucking fit now, Serge Ibaka. So sure, Lakers had a crazy great offseason, I'd say, to retain the title and everything like that. But let's not necessarily sleep too hard on the Clippers. But continue.
Yeah, that transitions pretty well. Like you mentioned, the Clippers are one who also made, I guess, only probably one move. It was a pretty big move for them, signing Serge Ibaka. I think this is a great fit. He gives them exactly what they need. That kind of enforcer, someone with experience, as well as a power forward that can defend and can kind of shoot and space the floor.
So Zubac, a big man too.
Yeah, so Zubac will probably get starting minutes, but Serge Ibaka will probably play backup, and he'll feel exactly what they need. I don't know. I wouldn't call the Clippers a winner of the offseason. I feel like they were too slow to make some moves.
Yeah.
And it seems like they missed out on a few good players there. I would have expected them to make a few more moves instead of just running it back, because, clearly they didn't look like they worked as a team at all. I don't know if running it back with the exact same team would have been a smart decision anyway. Letting Trez go, I think that move is fine. And then signing Serge is definitely a positive. But interested to see if they make any more moves around their guards, because I don't know if Pat Bev and Lou Will are necessarily the future. Any thoughts on the Clippers, or
No.
I'll go on to the next winner. I don't want to touch on the Suns because we kind of talked about CP3 going over there and how they'll be contending, so they're definitely a winner. But I just want to say the Atlanta Hawks.
Shit.
Massive winners of the offseason.
Dangerous.
They look really good. So signing Rondo, I think, is huge. Veteran. He'll teach, I guess, the club how to win.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, and mentor Trae Young. I think they're a legit threat to make the playoffs. And just to see that they're starting roster now, Trae, we get to see Clint Capella come through.
Gallinari, baby. That's
Gallinari.
Gallinari cooks the Pels. That's the thing.
Yeah, Gallinari. So their starting five looks super solid. And then they've got a pretty good bench. They also signed Bojan Bogdanovic.
Oh yeah, who was supposed to go to the Bucks, but
Yeah,
didn't end
after
up.
the whole tampering thing.
Yeah.
Man, that whole roster just looks so solid. So
Dude,
big
that's a
win,
scary team. That's a scary team. Like,
100%.
let's see how it kind of works out. But I really feel as if these guys could be very scary in the fact that they could upset in the playoffs. You know, they could make a deep playoff run, especially because they got playoff Rondo there, bro. And like we know about playoff Rondo, right? We know, like we were talking about playoff Rondo before. You know, people in the Lakers like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But obviously there's Celtics and I guess the Bulls before that too. But still, I'm just trying to say I've been on that playoff Rondo train for a while.
Yeah, 100%. Hawks are an actual threat. Excited to see how they go in the East. And yeah, like we always got to support Rondo wherever he goes. And then lastly, I just want to probably say I actually think the Bucks kind of have a pretty solid offseason.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, one trade might not make them look like a contender, but they also made a few good signings. They signed Torrey Craig, I thought was pretty decent. Kind of feels a nice wing spot for them. You know, Bryn Forbes, another one, a shooter. So definitely making the moves to try and keep Giannis around. But yeah, just looking like a solid team. Who knows? They should be able to go deep and hopefully not choke another season. And hopefully get, you know, my boy Drew a conference finals at least.
Yeah, boy.
And then what else?
I was gonna say, what do you call it? Yeah, so obviously we kind of mentioned before, Portland is a big winner too.
Yeah.
A lot of their old guys, a lot of the injured guys coming back, and you know, let's not. I think we're talking. Obviously, Nurkic had a bit of time, but in the bubble. But let's not forget about my boy, where the hood at. You know what I mean? Rodney Hood coming back too. I feel as if he's a good piece. And yeah, they signed Rob Cov. Did they? Are these guys the guys that took Josh Richardson from the 76ers, or did that go to Houston Rockets?
That's a good question. No, Josh Richardson went to Dallas.
Oh, Dallas, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
And Dallas is another fucking team that got scary too. And traded away Steph Curry to to Philly. So I think that's like a good. I think the entire Philly situation, like obviously Embiid I'm cool with, but Ben Simmons, like, fuck off, you know what I mean? Like, my kind of thing is that I'm always going to be like, that's the thing, Philly has like Doc Rivers and shit now too. Like, but I always feel, I can never like root for Philly, is what I'm trying to say. But I can say that, yeah, they probably had a good offseason, getting rid of Al Horford, you know what I mean? Which was like not doing anyone any favors. So, yeah, there's that, really, when it comes to Philly. Obviously, Charlotte got LaMelo now, and then brought on Gordon Hayward. That could be interesting. See if they get into the playoffs. What else is there?
Yeah, I just want to say another one. But this time in the losers bracket. This is just my opinion as well.
Yeah, sure.
I think the Celtics are actually a loser. Out of this offseason. So they went pretty deep. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals and obviously dropping a pretty competitive series against Miami. And really that series just exposed some flaws in their team, that they just needed a center. And, you know, there was a lot of rumors about who they could potentially sign, who they could go for. There was talks about them getting Miles Turner and some other centers that were lurking around the league. And in the end, all they end up making in terms of a move is signing Tristan Thompson, who I don't know if he really, you know, feels any. I mean, I guess he rebounds for them, which is something that they needed. But whether he can defend and actually have an offensive game that will match, you know, guys like Bam Adebayo, some of the competition in the East, yeah, who knows? I don't know if they necessarily got better that much. You know, Tristan provides a bit. He's a bit inconsistent, and obviously they gave up Gordon Hayward to Charlotte. So yeah, Celtics a bit slow to make some moves. Danny Ainge, who knows what he's doing? He's probably got some plan in place, but you know, half of it failed. I don't know. The Celtics seems like they didn't improve.
Yeah.
And whether they can go ahead and beat Miami or whoever's going to be that next Eastern Conference champion, it's looking unlikely for me. I definitely think that they're the losers out of this offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, it's not necessarily because I feel as if Celtics had only gotten so deep in their playoffs for the past few seasons is because of the fact that there's just not much talent in the fucking East, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, if the East had like crazy fucking stacked teams like the West, they ain't gonna be going too far, bro. And that's the thing. Like, rather than making improvements to actually get them to that next level in which they could be potentially be contending, or get into the finals, etc., they ain't done shit. So, but here's the Bucks making moves. Even Atlanta Hawk making moves, quote unquote. Detroit Pistons making moves. Charlotte Hornets making. Everyone's making moves, right? But not necessarily. Oh, and let's not fucking forget Brooklyn Nets coming back with KD and Kyrie, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Need I say more? Need I say more?
Yeah, I think you raised a good point about how the other teams in the East are making moves. Really quickly, I just want to say, Boston also letting go of Brad Wanamaker for like no money. He was only demanding, or he would have only commanded about $2 million, and I think he signed for really cheap. I thought he was a really solid player, and then bringing in Jeff Teague, who is one of the most frustratingly annoying players to watch. I've watched him quite a bit from his Hawks days to Minnesota. I've always been high on him, but man, he's just so inconsistent. Yeah, I don't think they got better. But really quickly, Miami just re-signing Goran was huge. And then also signing Avery Bradley from the Lakers, which I actually think is a really good move.
That's hectic, yeah.
So, again, just like you mentioned, other teams making moves, getting better. Hawks, Miami, Nets. Meanwhile, Celtics ain't looking to make any move, or ain't looking any more powerful. But yeah, I think that's probably the main one. In terms of the losers, some teams, barely made any moves. But again, this wasn't a strong free agent class. So who knows? It'll be a really interesting season to watch. Next free agency will be the big one. This is 2021, where all the superstars end up as free agents. So that should turn the tides quite a bit. But yeah, excited to see what happens. And yeah, who knows? Ryan, any other moves in the league that you want to point out? Actually, really quickly, talking about Atlanta Hawks, giving our boy Solomon Hill a contract.
Oh yeah, shit. Yo, now we ain't fucking around, and like they ain't fucking around anymore. They got Solomon Hill, bro, from Miami Heat. I'm just trying to say he's the reigning Eastern Conference champion.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to say.
True, they brought him on and they suddenly won a Eastern Conference champions. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah. Oh, and also all I'm trying to say too is that we had Solomon Hill on our roster. We made the playoffs. We don't have Solomon Hill on the roster. We didn't make the playoffs. What's going on? But I mean, it's not a complete 1-for-1 correlation. Like, we had probably he was with us for how many seasons? Only one season we made it to the playoffs. But that's not the point. The point is that Solomon Hill, it's the mystique, it's the aura of the great Solomon Hill.
Yeah, he definitely deserves some props for still getting contracts.
Yeah, this guy is still getting paid. This guy is still
the bag,
going around the league. Fucking getting paid.
Literally fleecing teams.
Bro, even my boy Alvin has to quit.
That's too good.
So true. Even my boy Alvin can't get like an assistant coach or a fucking video room guy or some shit. But my boy Solomon Hill going around the fucking league, tearing down the West, tearing down the East. Yeah, son, we're getting that paper. Damn, bro. Shout out to Solomon Hill. Yeah, fucking shout out to Solomon Hill. Like, I can't hate on I already have, expressed my gratitude towards him, but I can't hate on this player, bro. He getting paid, bro. I can't hate.
Yeah, huge respect. And then last move I'll mention probably before we sign off is one of the guys that we had talked about, potentially the Pelicans signing, Aaron Baines. And this is someone who I really wanted to see potentially fit with our team.
Yeah.
He's getting his contract with Toronto.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, so he signed there. So that's another team that, maybe only made a few moves. So they re-signed guys like Chris Boucher, Fred VanVleet, but they lost Marc Gasol. But signing on Baines kind of fills that
gap.
Yeah, somewhat fills that gap. Maybe not like for like, but yeah, definitely an interesting move. And I think Toronto will still be competitive and compete. So come on, Celtics, y'all gotta step up if you want to keep up.
Toronto needs. But that's the thing. Toronto just needs that one extra piece or something that I feel to get them back to competitive. But yeah, still, that's a very interesting move. Aaron Baines going to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, for sure.
Is Aaron Baines is Aussie, right?
Yeah, he's Aussie.
Oh, bro, that could have been a sickest. Whatever. Let's be happy.
The fit would have been pretty good.
Yeah. Let's be happy with Will Magnay, right?
Yeah. Respect Will. Shout out Will.
Shout out Will Magnay. If you've been listening in,
you better be listening.
Shout out to you. Because we're the only other.
We're the only people shouting him out, bro.
Yeah, we're probably the only. Probably if we do like an @Will Magame on what I can't mag. Fuck.
Yeah, who knows how to
sorry,
pronounce
bro. I'm
Just
sorry,
Will,
bro.
Yeah.
The big Willie. Let's just call him that. The big Willie, right? The big Aussie Willie, right? If we gave him a @Big Willie shout out on Instagram, we'd get a like, we'd get a comment, we'd get a follow back. You know what I mean? He's gonna be, yeah, bro. Da, da, da. Like he's gonna be featuring us on his story. You know, I'm talking shit. Like still. Big shout out to all these new little changes. I mean, big shout out to everyone that's left the Pelicans. Thank you for your service, everyone, and big shout out to everyone that's joined. Let's see what we can do. You know, let's make it fucking happen. Or as Mr. Zion Williams had said, let's dance, baby.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that summarizes our thoughts on those loose ends on the Pelicans as well as around the league. Let us know your thoughts. If you disagree or agree anything, let us know if we missed anyone. But yeah, we're just excited for the league to start, for the season to start again in about 3 weeks or so. So yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna be dropping some pretty good content. So we've already plugged our pipes. You know where to find us.
Yeah, boy. Episode 20.
Yeah, Pelbros signing out.
Yeah, we partying. Let's get yo, James. Let's get the vodka. What's that? You got the champagne, the Moet? Oh shit. Yo, wait, don't tell my girlfriend about this, yo. Alright. I'm hanging up. See ya.
We out, laters.